Guys, how you doing? It's Charlie, and we're doing a lesson on chord tones today, not a smooth jazz tribute act as that might have sounded like. We're looking at what chord tones are, how you can use them, and hopefully this isn't really supposed to even be about jazz really. It's just aimed at people who want to make their playing sound a little bit more well, bring out the changes a little more. I daren't use the word sophisticated because that's a little bit controversial, but we're just talking about bringing the notes out of the chords that you're playing over, and how to do it and how to kind of make it, you know, hopefully a bit easier on guitar, because initially it can be a bit of a a bit of a tough thing, especially if you're a scale player who's used to going up and down scales. It's a bit of a tall order. So you might be used, this is kind of for people maybe who play a bit of blues or rock or both, or even kind of progressive rock, and just want to look at chord progressions in a little bit more detail and learn how to, you know, we're not necessarily talking about playing bebop or anything like that, you know, we're just looking how to appreciate the chord tones a little bit more, thus hopefully making your playing sound a little bit more melodic and pleasing on the ear. There's no means you have to get rid of all your scalic ideas, it's just a way of adding in some stuff to your, you know, your already kind of repertoire of licks and all that sort of stuff. So what we're looking at here is a chord progression which consists of D major 7, which is played bars at 5th fret, and then I've got the kind of middle finger 3rd string 6th fret, 3rd finger 4th string 7th fret, and your little finger on the 2nd string 7th fret. Okay, should be familiar with these chords really, because we're going to have to look at the harmony a little bit, so it will help if you know what these chords are. So D major 7, then we've got a B minor 7, it's a straight bar at 7th fret with your 3rd finger on the 9th fret at the 5th string. Okay, and then you've got an E minor 9. Now we're going against, I picked it in because it kind of works quite well. I'm not putting the A in, but we're just playing 5th fret, 1st finger on the 4th string, and then your 3rd finger 7th fret 3rd string, and your little finger 7th fret 2nd string. All right, and I'm playing the open 6th as your root note. I'm missing the 5th. I'm playing it as an E minor 9. Okay, and that then moves to an A13. Okay, so it's like an A dominant 7th with this note added in. So it's an A. So I'm actually not even barring it. I'm just playing open 5th, the 5th fret 4th string, middle finger on the 6th fret of the 3rd string, and your 3rd finger, which is the 13, on the 7th fret of the 2nd string. All right, and also catching the top. Now for the second half of that bar, we drop that 13 down a semitone, giving us an A. Well, you call it an A7 flat 13. If you speak, you know, if we're being proper, you can get away with calling it an A7 sharp 5. Alright, so an A7 sharp 5 or an A7 flat 13, I know it's a bit of a confusing terminology, but they can be called both things. So those are the chords: D major 7 for a bar, B minor 7 for a bar, E minor 9 for a bar, A13, so those are your basic chords. Now all of that is diatonic to D major, so I can just play D major pentatonic, which sounds fine. Sounds cool, you know, kind of, depending who's playing it. And then, or we can play D major scale, and again it will sound fine. Play a little bit more melodic than that. You know, yeah, it can work fine, and it is good, and you can get lucky, and you can hit the right notes, and you know, and it'll sound really great if it, you know what you're doing. But all we're trying to do today is show you how you can enhance those ideas to bring out the harmony a little more, pin it down, and make yourself sound. Hopefully even, you know, hopefully improve your lead playing a little bit and your understanding of the neck, alright? So chord tones are essentially just arpeggios. Arpeggios are what are often referred to as broken chords. So instead of playing this D major 7 like this, I instead pick the notes of the chord out, giving me root, third, fifth, seventh, root, third, fifth, seventh, root. That's 2 octaves of the arpeggio, and I use those notes on an individual kind of single note basis to pin down the harmony a little bit better. So instead of, if that just goes round, now obviously just playing up and down is cool, that's fine, but it's not going to win you solo of the year. So it's, you know, that's the thing we're going to come on to. But first of all, before we do anything else, we're going to take each chord and we're going to learn the arpeggio of each chord. Then you've got to hammer that. So we're going to start by doing that. So we're going to start with D major 7. Okay, so I'm in 5th position, and we're largely trying to stick to 5th position, but I'll come on to that. Middle finger, 5th fret, 5th string, F sharp, 4th string, A on the 4th string, then we're up to the 3rd string, 6th fret, C sharp, then the D on the 7th fret. Then we jump up a string to the F sharp on 7th, the A is on 5th on your top string, then you've got quite a jump to the 9th fret on your top string before you hit your octave, okay? Then we ideally come down again, okay? So that's the sound. I'll go up it one more time. 5th fret, 5th string, 4th string, 4th fret, then 7th fret, 3rd string, 6th fret, then 7th fret, 2nd string, 7th fret, top E string, 5th fret, 9th fret, 10th fret, okay? Then back down. Okay, and that's your D major arpeggio. You need to just learn it, of course, as with everything on the guitar, that's all movable. You move it up a tone and you've got E major 7, etc. Okay, so that's all your starting point. Then we've got B minor 7. Okay, and we're going to try and stick in position. Okay, these are all 2 octave arpeggios, by the way. B minor 7, ideally, see how I'm using my little finger as well, because I'm trying to kind of keep around 4th, 5th position. So I'm going to go 6th string, 7th fret, up to the 5th fret, 5th string, 4th fret, 4th string, 7th fret, 4th string, 4th fret, 3rd string, 7th fret, 3rd string, then bar that 7th fret, 2nd string, then catch 5th fret, top string, and then your octave there is the B, back to where you started kind of thing. Okay, so we're going to go 7th on the 6th string, on the 5th string we're going to have fret 5, and on your 4th string you have fret 4 and fret 7, then on your 3rd string you have fret 4 and fret 7, then on your 2nd string you have fret 7, and then on your top string you have 5 and 7. Okay. I think you need to practice going up it and memorising it first of all, then try coming down it, then try doing both. You're going to have to explore it. It's a bit of an exploration if you're not used to it, but that's a good place to start. On from that, we have E minor 9. Now here, this is a little bit different. I've opted for an E minor 7 chord because if you don't know your E minor 7 arpeggio, there's no point in learning your E minor 9 at this stage. I know it's cheating a little bit, but the E minor 9 to me sounded a bit nicer than the E minor 7. So a little bit of inconsistency, but we'll live with it. Also, we're cheating a little bit because we're skipping position, okay, which is a little bit cheating, but it's because I want to put 2 octaves in, because I think it's even to keep the 2 octaves in. I can't quite manage 2 octaves of E minor 7 whilst in kind of 4th, 5th position, so we're gonna have to shift a bit. All right, little finger grabs 7th fret, 5th string, middle finger 5th fret, 4th string, first finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, little finger on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. Then on your 2nd string you're going to have 5 and 8. Then this is where you shift. Top string 1, 10, 12th fret. Okay, I'll do that again. 5th string number 7, 4th string number 5, 3rd string number 4 then 7, then your 2nd string 5 then 8, then on your top string 7, 10, 12. That's your 2 octaves. Sorry. Okay, and then you come down. Okay, and that's your 2 octave E minor 7 arpeggio, which will work perfectly fine over E minor 9. We're going to come to that. Final one is the E13. Same concept applies. We're not going to play an E13 arpeggio for the moment, or an we're just going to go for an A dominant 7th. I meant A, sorry. Okay, so, and again, because if you don't know your A dominant 7th, there's no point in learning your A13 just yet, I don't think. Okay, so A dominant 7th, 5th fret, 6th string, up to 4th fret, 5th string, and 7th fret, 5th string. On your 4th string, you're going to play 5 and 7. On your 3rd string, you're going to play 6. On your 2nd string, you're going to play 5 and 8. And then on your top string, you just play the high 5. Okay. Again, 6th string, 5th fret, 5th string, 4th and 7th fret, 4th string, 5th and 7th, 5th and 7th fret, 3rd string, 6th fret, 2nd string, 5 and 8, and your top string 5. Okay, and practice going up and down those. So we've got D, B minor, 7, E minor 9, and then A. Back to where we started. Okay, so those are the 4 arpeggios. You need to learn them and absolutely go to town on them as much as you can, because making music out of them is a lot more difficult, I think. So just learn them and get them under your hat, go over them, go up and down them, and all that sort of thing. Now I think the next step is to try and arpeggiate using the progression. So what I mean by that is, now I'm not doing anything fancy here. So I'm going up D. I'm not stopping, there's no interesting rhythm. Now you've got to be a little bit careful because you will start to cross a little bit. And I'm not getting to the top of each arpeggio either, because the next one starts and I'm trying to talk and play at the same time as well. So that's your next step. You take each arpeggio and you turn it into you give it a bit of, we need a beginning and the end. You've got 4 beats essentially, 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now wherever you are in that arpeggio, you're just going to have to find the next most local note. This might take a little bit of crossing over and messing about, but kind of use your ears, you can start to kind of hear maybe the common notes in between, which ones work, and you'll kind of adapt it, but you've got to be able to play without a gap. You don't want to get into this kind of, like, actually sounds alright. You can easily lose your way with it, it's badly demonstrated, but try and be strict with yourself and be regimented, because that's the only way you're going to understand these things and be able to use them. Alright, so that's your next step with the arpeggios. Finally, what I think is a great thing to do is to find some common notes, so you can actually start to make some music. Now, I'm staying in this position for a reason, because I think it's better to limit yourself to a position, because you're more likely, I think, to create music. If you give yourself a whole neck, you've overcomplicated everything and you've got too much to choose from. Whereas if you just find yourself in a little kind of a smaller area of the neck and give yourself, a few notes, you're going to be more inclined to make music out of it, because you haven't got so much choice. So think of it that way. So I normally, as an exercise for myself, try and find myself in a position, find the common notes. So we're just going to take a D major triad, okay, D, F sharp and A, and see what works. So for example, I'll start with a D. So the D is common to the D, it's also common to the B minor, it's also common to the E minor 7. It's not quite common to the A, so we would drop it a semitone there, okay? So that's your first part. You can drop it down to the C sharp, which is the 3rd of A. Okay, so that will work. Now, it's not the greatest solo in the world, but it works fine. It's you're not doing anything wrong. Obviously, it's not fantastic. But this is another opportunity to bring in things like sliding and tone and touch and varying your tone and your attack and all that. Because if you've only got one note to play with, you've got to make the most of it. So if we then move up to the F sharp, it's common to the D, it's common to the B minor. And then on the last 2 beats of the last bar, you move it, because it's a flat 13, you can move it down a semitone, so that will work great. Went a bit early there. I combine the two. It's not the most exciting solo in the world, but you're almost, with a bit of practice, you can almost make that sound kind of semi-melodic, maybe for 4 bars, maybe not 8. Then we're going to bring in the A. Okay, we'll look at common tones of the A. Works over D major 7, it's common. It's this flat 7 of the B minor. It's not quite in the E minor 9, but it is in the A7, so it's kind of going to work. It's going to work. Okay, we're going to move it up a tone for the E minor 7, and then back down. Okay, now we're going to try and use all 3 and just mess about. Okay, not the most sophisticated sounding solo, but it's very safe. It's textbook correct. But it's up to you to kind of start to make some music out of it. Now I'm just going to maybe say that you're going to chuck in a few extra notes there, okay? And just within this little area, okay? So we're going to start to add in the B, okay? The B is going to work nicely over the, it's going to add as an extension to the B, to the D, which is fine. It's going to work okay over the B minor 7, obviously. It's going to work okay over the E minor 9, E minor 7, because it's a 5th. And it's going to work just about, might want to resolve down a semitone during the A7 chord. So we're going to add that in, the A and the B. We've got the F sharp and put the E in as well, okay, on 2nd string. What else? We'll put the G in as well. So I've got like... Okay, now we're starting to blur the lines and now sort of looking at a scale. But try not to think like that. Try to think that each of these notes are individual tones of each chord. And where to place them is kind of up to you, but try not to get in the habit of because which is cool, it's fine, but it's kind of what we're trying to avoid here. So try to think of it like that, that you're trying to think, and thinking is very difficult when you're trying to improvise, but we have to go through that process to make it work. So B, they're going to work fine. Kind of working. Okay, you can have hours of fun with it. After a bit of messing about, you start to put chromatic notes in there and all of that. But I would start there and build up. Try and add in another line. Try and add some more of the arpeggios. The only way you're going to start, I think, to use this stuff is to use it, obviously. This is all, of course, based on the cage system approach, which is broadly speaking, kind of using shapes and moving them around, and this is the same idea. If you took this entire progression up a tone, you could take exactly the same shapes. There's no open strings, and you would get the same. You would get the same movement, the same result. So again, that's something to compare with. But try and remember that you're learning these shapes and move them around and experiment, because that's the great thing about guitar, is that we've got shapes, we've got the cage system, we've got all that to rely on. So it's a really great thing to use. So use it. I think that's it. I hope you had fun. Try out some of those ideas. Let me know how you get on. I'd be happy to help, answer questions, whatever. And hopefully it's been of some use to you. Cheers. I'll see you soon.